Folks, good evening, early evening out here in California. It is November 7th, 2020, 4:54 p.m. And according to the USGS, latest quake on the globe is a 4.4. But if you check out this seismograph station over here on the bottom side here near Solomon Islands, a little bit larger earthquake showing up there. USGS not quite reporting that yet, but the EMSC website is reporting a 5.2 earthquake in that region near the Santa Cruz Islands, with Solomon Islands. They're just a little distance away from there, but definitely picking up that 5.2 on the seismograph station. As far as the USGS map, like I said, not showing that 5.2 yet. As far as earthquake activity goes, they are showing some stuff around the Samoa Islands and the Tonga region. You can see that 6.1 there. Struck earlier, quite some time ago, 29 kilometers below surface. Did not create any type of tsunami or any warning. Too deep, and definitely not enough magnitude there to create any type of tsunami in the region. As far as the Western Pacific goes over here, a couple small earthquakes, or moderate, I should say. But this region here definitely can see and will see, no doubt, in the future, much larger quakes. But for today, lower 5.2, and looks like an upper 4.9 there in the region of the Pacific Ring of Fire. In the northern part up here, far as anything above 2.5 and above goes, relatively quiet. There's a couple sporadic quakes there around the Aleutian Islands area, and also where the 7.6 struck few weeks ago now. And it's quieting down in that region, it looks like, which is good news. But activity picking up on the upscale swing up here, as you can see. Go ahead and zoom into this area. In Alaska, you got Anchorage down here just to the south, about 10 miles or so. So very close to the Anchorage, Alaska vicinity. Taking a look at the earthquake map over here, you can see quite a bit of swarming going on. All the way down here we can go. Looks like prior to the larger quake there, the 5.0, there was some activity as well. A pretty good handful of some microquakes taking place there in that area. But since the 5.0 struck, you can see a pretty good increase. I mean, the list is pretty long over here as far as aftershock activity. It looks like so far the latest largest quake in that aftershock sequence there. Hopefully this is not all some type of foreshocks up there, because they do see some large earthquakes up there. But so far that 4.4 is the largest aftershock there. In this region, quite a few folks reported feeling it. Let's go back down to that 5.0 and see the Did You Feel It reports here. And Anchorage is on here, obviously. Quite a few Anchorage zip codes reported feeling that. 215 responses there at this vicinity. Looking, yeah, I mean, there's quite a few folks just for a 5.0 earthquake. So kind of monitoring that area. Like I said, this vicinity up here, there's a reason why there's mountains and whatnot. Subducting area down here, you can see the interface plate area. You can see that region of subduction. But yeah, no doubt, this area up here very active when it comes to earthquake activity. And today, looking pretty interesting there. What do we got for the latest? Looks like a 2.1 there in that cluster of quakes. So kind of keep an eye on that area. Down here through the western part of the United States, once again, looks pretty quiet compared to yesterday. Fairly quiet as well down here in the south part of the state. No major swarms, no major activity around the San Andreas Fault. I mean, hardly any when it comes to the all magnitudes here. Is very, very quiet. Normally this is just littered with at least 20 or 30 earthquakes in this specific map area. Right now we only have 9, so definitely pretty quiet in the region there. Northern California, let's check Mount Lassen up here real quick. Looks like a little small earthquake up there over the last 24 hours, just a microquake there. Things may be calming down in that region. Red Bluff, east of Red Bluff, northeast of Red Bluff, seen a 2.7 and a looks like a 1.9 aftershock as well. Just about a couple miles distance there between each other. And of course, geyser activity down here south of Clear Lake, typical hydrothermal type geyser activity, which is very common. It does produce earthquakes quite a bit there in that region. Let's see what else we got. Idaho kind of swarming a little. Checking out the volcanoes up here in Washington area. A little small microquake once again there, Mount Rainier. Over the last couple of weeks there, I tell you what, it's been these volcanoes up here through the Cascades and into parts of the Sierra Nevada in California, definitely showing some microquake activity. No large scale movement, no changes on the volcanic statuses. I don't believe there's any type of volcanic activity. I believe it's all structural stress from the plate movements and whatnot. Checking out the tremor activity real quick from, I don't think we're going to see today. Well, actually they got it today, but it's not on there. I don't believe this updates until about 6 p.m. my time. But looking at yesterday's events, just yesterday you can see 712 epicenters, mainly in Washington there in that vicinity west of Seattle on the Cascadia subduction zone, and also in the northern California. There are just two large clusters. This here is at the southern end of the Cascadia subduction zone, well below the surface. These are not surface quakes, not surface tremor, but tremor way down below in the downstream section, below the North American plate, with the Juan de Fuca plate doing the thing underneath the North American plate there, creating the tremor, slow slip events there. So yeah, quite a bit. One in the north, one in the south. So definitely some large movement along the Cascadia subduction zone. Nothing along the locked section. It looks relatively quiet offshore. We did see a smaller quake off in the Mendocino Triple Point Junction up here. Just a 2.7. Other than that, pretty quiet along the Cascadia Megathrust area. What else we got, folks? Relatively quiet. There's that 5.3. Finally showed up in the USGS station there. They got listed there 130 kilometers southeast of the Solomon Islands. I'm sorry, southwest. Solomon Sea, Solomon Islands over here. Let's see what else we got. Yellowstone, real quick. Let's check this out real quick here. And no swarming. Looks relatively quiet here, folks. So, all right, we're gonna jump off here. Have a good night, everyone. It's Saturday night, and stay safe if you're out there enjoying the weekend. We'll chat to you guys a little bit later.